Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the long-awaited review of the In-Era Fenrir kit. If you guys missed my unboxing video for this kit, you can go back and check that out. There was a little bit of a mishap, so apologies for the long delay for getting to the review, but we're here. Let's talk about this kit. It's awesome. As you can see here, it's just packed with a ton of detail. We got a lot of really cool gimmicks in there as well, and we'll talk some more about those after we go through the weapons. Just the weapons themselves have a lot of gimmicks built in, and so that's one thing other than the size of this, which including the base is going to be around 11 inches in height. The size is kind of similar to that of a perfect grade, and it's certainly going to be similar in the part count as well. But we've got a lot to go over with this kit, so let's go ahead and dive right in. And so starting off actually with the hands, we do have a set of fixed pose weapon holding hands here, which I think will be more solid for holding especially like the heavier weapons. But on the kit, we do also have these fully articulated hands, which again are going to be very kind of PG-like. Inside there's a little tab that will flip out, that pops out there, and then that's going to plug into your weapons for a stronger grip. So if you did want the fully articulated hands, you've got those for being able to do kind of a wider array of poses with them. But for holding, like I said, heavier weapons, I feel like those fixed pose hands are certainly going to be coming in handy. And for our weapons, the first of which here going to be the handgun, of which we have two of these. Even on such a simple weapon as you might think of just like a handgun, this is actually quite complex here. This bit here at the back will slide back slightly there. The barrel tip as well will slide forward. You can see this whole part here at the top slides forward there slightly. That will unlock this part that you can take out if you wanted to check the ammo magazine inside there. But putting that in, pushing this back, and then pushing this back in there will lock that then in place. This entire part here at the front can be removed if you want, just like a simpler pistol there, but this kind of grenade launcher bit, this can actually fold down. Fold that out and separate that a bit, sort of like this. I don't know whether that's supposed to make it into like a grenade launcher or just kind of make it into like 3 barrels there sort of or something, whatever that's supposed to be. Anyway, it does look cool. And then on the handle, you'll notice there's a gap there in the handle for plugging into the hand for a nice solid grip. And then here on the sides, there's a little tab that pops out, and you have that on either side. That's going to allow it to plug up in here onto these backpack parts for storage when not in use. So those can just be stored up on there like that. And for a couple of different sword weapons here, we've got this kind of chain sword or whatever that is flexible here between those different joints in the handle. Here again, you can see the hard points for plugging into the hand. So this can be used in the hand on its own. Otherwise, we can actually fold that handle back like that, and then you'll notice that becomes a ball joint, and this will plug up into the back skirt. Just plugs right up into there, either just as a point for storing this when not in use, or basically just acting as the tail there. Our second sword weapon is going to be this one here. This has a gimmick of a blade that extends out there like that, and the fact that you can combine the two of these together. You'll start by just kind of slotting them together there at the base, and then you kind of have to press these sections down to condense them until they interlock here at the top as well. And that causes everything to fit together really nicely all the way here to the back. This little white part then folds down and will connect the two handles together there like that. And then you've got a nice solid handle for your big combined sword here like that, which is really cool. And then we do have another sword. This one quite slim compared to the other two there, and just fairly simple, but this one fits into this huge mega sword holder here basically. This will slot into here just like that, and then this will close up like so. This part here at the back slides in then to lock that in place, and then notice the gimmick of that part moving when you slide that as well. So yeah, really cool gimmick to be able to slide this back and open this up there for removing the sword from this section. Pops down and slides out of there. Really, really cool. Or of course, instead of just removing that little sword of there, you can just use this whole big thing as a sword as well. And then this will connect onto the side skirt. You do have this connection piece here that will fit onto the handle. And then this little tab there on the side, this is actually on a little ball joint then. But on either side of the waist section, there's that little gap there you can see, and that's where this is going to plug onto for storage when not in use. And this sword can also be attached onto the backpack using this connection piece here. This will plug into these little points here and here, which will basically kind of connect these two connection arms here on the back, which we'll talk more about here in just a second, but it'll basically bind them together, and then you can store the sword there mounted onto the back. I'll show you how that looks here in just a moment. But while I've got the base here, and while we're on the topic, for the display base, you have a button here in the top that you press that in, and that will allow you to move the main joint forward and back there. And then this trigger here, when you take that out, this will allow you to adjust the height of the base if you wanted it higher up. And then for the main base plate itself there, featuring that really cool image of the Fenrir kit in kind of an action pose there, and you have that kind of clear plastic piece that goes over the top of that. And you can also make that clear plastic piece not be flat, but actually up at an angle by using this piece underneath. So if you put this piece up underneath that, it basically holds that up at an angle. So if you had the kit up, not in like a standing pose, but up in like kind of a flying, dashing, or like kind of action pose, and you wanted to have this not be flat but actually up at an angle, you can use this piece for that, which is kind of cool. And now to talk about the kit here in some more detail, go over some of the gimmicks built in. Just kind of starting off here with the head, you can see I've got the clear blue part there in there for the eyes. You do have a couple of options for that part. There are stickers as well, but you have the option of a gold piece for the eyes instead, as well as a red piece. So you have 3 different options for the actual plastic part for the eyes, but again, then you could either paint or use the stickers for those. And then for the chin piece as well, got that there in black, but you do have the option to make that gold if you prefer. On the front of the chest here, which is basically like the cockpit, you can actually open up this cockpit hatch. You can see our little pilot figure is up inside of there. And then we've got a bunch of open hatch gimmicks that we're going to be seeing with this, starting off just with this one here on the chest. You can kind of open up those parts there at the chest, and you can see some of the detail, mechanical detail up inside of there. Around here in like the center of the back, this part will lift up. These parts here on the side will kind of move out to the side. They're kind of blocked a little bit right now. I've got those arms attached, but this would open up more if you didn't. And then this middle section will actually pull out, extend out a bit further there like that. And again, just all this really nice detail in and around there, so you can push that back in there, close these side parts, close this top part down there like that. And then naturally when you bend the waist, you have all this really nice separation between those like gold plated like vertebrae like looking parts up inside of there like so. And you can also see like those working like kind of metal. And then you can also see those like working metallic piston details in there on the sides as well when it bends side to side. So all that detail on there looks really, really cool. Here on the front of the waist section as well, this part will open up like that, and this bottom part here down like that as well. These front skirts will also open up out to the side, and this little gold bit you can kind of extend out a little bit there as well. Again, a lot of really nice detail up inside there with those plastic stickers. Looks really nice. And we don't really have so much side skirts, but even here at the back skirts, you have a couple of little bits that will open up, like this part here, as well as right here. So those like kind of 2 small little panels there open up just to show some more of this detail here, even on the back skirt there and there. And then if you're finding these front skirts getting in the way while you're posing, you can actually detach them, and this kind of goes off to the side for that to get out of the way of the leg coming to the front there like that, which is really nice. The shoulder armor will also open up by this part lifting up like that, this black part then folding down. I'll get it, there you go. So you can see again some more of that mechanical detail up inside the shoulder there. Even this small little panel here on the side of the bicep, that will open up there like that. Just because, I mean, why not? And then on the underside of the forearm, this panel also will lift up there on the inside of that. And then here on the back side of the arm, this kind of like shield part there, this can kind of fold out there, moving away from the arm, swivel that around and put that back on there like that. This part here on the top will then kind of pop out for some more gold detail there. And up inside that little silver piece that is gonna be removed, we're gonna stick that here onto one end of our red wire there like that. We plug this dummy piece here onto the other end of the wire, and that's gonna go in there where we took the silver piece out from. And then we've got this kind of little wire guided thingy there that shoots out of the forearm, which is pretty cool there. I like the fact that it's in this nice bright red, so it's gonna stand out really nicely, kind of a cool little accent. Moving down to the legs, then this side panel here on the side of the thighs will open up. That opens up there like that with some piston detail inside and some cool like red truss detail in there. This little bit here on the top of the knee will also open up there, exposing a little bit of silver detail that you can't see when that's closed up. And around on the kind of the back side of the calf, these tiny little hatches open there as well on both sides. On the side of the calf where you have those cool clear blue parts, this part will open out like that, and then the clear blue part actually will open out as well, kind of like that there. This part here at the back of the foot will fold down, Again, some cool detail inside. And then we have our toes, which interestingly are not individually articulated. I would have thought that they would have been, but they are really nicely detailed there up underneath the feet and everywhere. Basically just have all this detail packed into every little corner of this kit. Last thing then is going back up to the backpack, you have these connection arms which can rotate out. You have a bunch of different points of articulation here for these, and these kind of bits there at the end like that. These also have fingers, so on the top, bottom, and sides, that all folds out of there like that, which is pretty wild looking. And then collapsed in, those collapse in, those close up here like that to basically just make these kind of bits that, I don't know if that's meant to be like, again, like some kind of weapon, kind of beam emitter or something like that, and then just the hard points there on the side. But you really just got all of those gimmicks plus an amazing range of articulation, which I will just demonstrate here for you as we take a look at a few poses here with this, just because with the amount of detail that you have, the amount of parts that you have, the range of articulation that you're seeing here just for posing this. And I do like the base that we have included. Sometimes, you know, the bases for these kits, sometimes they can be just kind of plain, you know, nothing really too exciting. This one I feel like is pretty good just in that it's a cool design with a lot of detail on there. It does what it needs to do in terms of being able to hold up the kit in kind of different angles rather than just like kind of being stuck in one angle. It also holds it up very solidly too, with the peg connection being rectangular in shape. It just means that the kit's not going to like rotate or like droop off to one side, kind of depending on your pose. Sometimes they have a tendency to do that if it's just like a circle peg. So all in all on this thing, I mean, just basically everything's really amazingly engineered. The only real criticism that I could really say for this is that, you know, for some people it might be subjectively overly engineered. I mean, the design just being as detailed and as colorful as it is with all these little bits and everything on there, it might not be for everyone. But if this is something that you think does look cool, if you do like the look of this, then you'll definitely like the kit. I mean, because other than just all the really great features that it has and just for how good it looks, the fit of everything is really nice as well. You don't have like little parts that are like falling off. You don't have like parts that are really difficult to put together. The construction process is easy enough, and it will certainly take a long time. You guys saw, if you saw the unboxing, just how many parts and runners and everything we have with this. It's basically like a perfect grade just in terms of the box size and the number of parts and the complexity and just the size of the assembled kit and everything. So I think you're just getting a ton of stuff in there, plus the fact that you have this really nice display base for it, I think just makes it a really good kit if you are a fan of the design. And just, that's not to say anything about all the different weapon options that we have with this. You just have a ton of different awesome weapons that you can use between the handguns and like the different ways that those can be equipped, your different options for the swords, many kind of different options for those. And you have those cool little like wire guided dart kind of weapon things too. It's like a small thing, but I actually kind of just really like how those look, just because they're just, again, with that bright red color, they stand out really nicely as just a kind of nice little dynamic kind of accent to the kit, I think. And then of course, on top of all of that, in case you guys don't remember from the unboxing, you do also have a ton of decals included that you can use to add even more accents to this, aside from just like the sticker decals that you have, which some of like the 3D stickers and some of the stickers are on there, but there's more of those actually as well. And then plus all the waterside decals. So I mean, you just have a ton of stuff that you can use there within the box. So really nice kit. The only thing maybe that I could say that I would have liked to see with this is more fixed pose option hands, but you have their fully articulated hands. I'm just always very wary about those fully articulated hands, even in this size and this scale. The 160 scale fully articulated hands tend to hold up a little bit better than the 100 scale ones, but they still always make me nervous, and I feel like the fingers are just a little bit too prone to breaking. So that's why I like the fixed pose hands. You do have that one set of fixed pose hands with this, but I think maybe a couple more and just like closed fists and maybe open expressive hands would have been nice to be included as well. Other than that, I mean, I think this gives you plenty to work with. And like I said, definitely one that I could highly recommend for you guys. You'll enjoy it a lot. So if you want to check out the kit for yourself, if you haven't already, you can check the link in the video description to USI Gundam Store. Got lots of great stuff there on the site, this kit and more. So check all that out there. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. I'm sorry it took a little while to get to the review for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at this one here. It's a really cool kit. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe as well while you're here. I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much. Until next time, I hope y'all are doing well. See you guys later. Bye-bye.